Hey y'all! Here's my reading vlog. I read 2 books and I did not finish either one of them in this vlog, but I'm bringing it to you anyway. You're welcome. Yeah, I decided to post this vlog with the books unfinished because I don't finish books quickly when I'm savoring the flavor of knowledge. So please bear with me. I will bring you a continuation of these books so I can have some sort of conclusion. But in the meantime, enjoy. Hey, so I am reading The Inhabited Woman. I just happened to see this book in the thrift store the other day. I picked up this. I saw Zami by Audre Lorde, and I picked up another book by the same author of The Hate You Give. I forgot what that book was called, but Angie Thomas, I think, is the author. So, Inhabited Woman is translated from Spanish by Miss somebody something. Kathleen March. Okay, translated by Kathleen March. Written by Gioconda Belli. And she's from Nicaragua. And this is somewhat of an autobiographical novel that talks about a woman named Lavinia who becomes involved with a man who has some drama that he pulls her into. And now her life will never be the same, which is how it happens with these men, right? And I'm struck because we have like this situation where she was being touted as this like independent woman who was progressive and wasn't trying to be held down by no man, and she has her own home. And this is, I don't know what this setting is for this, but it was published in 1989. I'm trying to get this tab on here. Okay, that's good. That's good. She's supposed to be this independent woman who has her own place. Her aunt left her a cottage with a beautiful garden and this orange tree. And she's not married and she wants to have her career and all this progressive stuff. But then when she gets mixed up with this guy, she just turns into a pick-me-sha, and she's making herself small in her own house so he'll be comfortable, and she's tiptoeing around him because he's tired, and she's like, oh, he hasn't eaten all day, even though she hasn't eaten all day either, and he's thrown her life in a complete disarray. She's like, I gotta cook for him and his friend, and it's crazy. And you see, I think this book is going to discuss gender roles. It is discussing gender roles so far, but it's beautifully written. There's definitely some amazing passages here. Oh, the gift of ubiquity, just like the gods. I couldn't contain myself. I was so amazed. I couldn't contain myself. I was so multiplied. There was no me. All of that was me. Endless prolongations of my being. A lake, a stone, Endless concentric circles forming and dissolving. The paths of life seemed strange to me. And stuff like that. I love this book. And I've never heard of Gioconda Belli. I've never heard of this book before. I just saw it. And I guess I judged it by its cover. Decided to pick it up. Actually, I did read the back. And it's just a little paragraph. It's perfect. It's a perfect little paragraph. There's also some talk about privilege and wealth, breeding, I guess being well heeled, those types of concepts. It reminds me of Memoirs of a Geisha, in that a character in this book ends up being given away to a rich relative. Similarly, because, you know, what's her name's dad was old and poor, they convinced him to give her up. Give up both his daughters, actually. So that's similar. I think there's going to be some character growth for Lavinia. I think she's starting out as this sort of pick-me kind of chick, even though she didn't realize she was one. She thought she was independent and progressive and didn't take no shit from nobody, but here she is taking all of Felipe's shit. So with confidence, and she's like, oh my god, and then she's like, and people anyways, yeah, that's kind of how okay, so reading vlog, update time. I am reading The Invention of Women, which looks at gender through African historical language and perspective. And the other book, I just happened to find this at the thrift store. It's called The Inhabited Woman. And it's by Gioconda Belli. She is from Nicaragua. She was born into a rich family, but decided to join the Sandinistas and be a insurgent and political participant. This book is good. This book is really good, and it's like exploring like feminist ideas through the lens of a woman who's still like suffering from patriarchy, internalized misogyny, all that good stuff. So the combination of The Inhabited Woman with The Invention of Women, which is discussing how gender is a biological construct, but a social construct at the same time in Western ideology. I'm just like having my mind blown right now. So this is like good stuff. But I wanted to share some books with you that I purchased recently, because y'all seem to like book hauls on here. I'm not really into seeing what you bought. Like, oh wow, you have the skill of spending money. Yay. Like, anybody can, you could just recommend a good book if you're trying to share like what your taste in books is. I don't know. I just think the book hauls, like, I don't know. But I'm going to share with y'all the books I bought recently because y'all seem to like them. So, I have Jojo Moyes, The Giver of Stars. And this is about like a small town Kentucky team who builds a traveling library. So this is a book about reading books, sharing books with underserved communities. And this is for a prompt on my library reading challenge this year, which is to read a book that is set in the state or country that you were born in, which is Kentucky for me. Then I have this package. Which I definitely should have opened before I started filming. But whatevs. Too late now. Alright, so I bought these books, but I've been forgetting what I bought. So this time we have Gloria Naylor's Linden Hills, which I'm a little upset. This is not the cover I was going for. There's another cover, this beautiful woman with like this fur hat on and she's looking up at the sky, and that was the cover I was expecting, but whatever. It's the same book inside, right? I'm so excited for this. Kakaye. Kai Kiai? Kai Kiai? I don't know how to say this. I just say Kakaye, which is wrong. Kai Kiai. I think it's Kai Kiai. This is like a mythical Indian myth retelling. It's a chunky one. Let's see how many pages we got here. Those are the acknowledgments. Actually, $4.75 is not as much as I was considering for this thick old book. But yeah, $4.75, and I want to read this at the end of the year for my book club. So then I got Native Son, which is interesting because I think at some point in my career in high school, I said I didn't like this book when we read it in high school. Had to read it in the 11th grade. AP English. Lit. Or was it the 10th grade? It was either 10th or 11th grade that we read this book for AP. And not AP. It wasn't AP. It was GT. Whatever. I didn't like some of the stuff that happened in this book. I remember that. And I think I said to myself, I was never going to read this book again. But then I got FOMO because the people at Noteworthy Fiction on Nicole's channel are going to be discussing this book on at the end of the month. And I wanted to be a part of the discussion. And I did want to reread this book at some point. But y'all, I'm on page 36, 37. And I'm just not in the mood for it right now. Me and Bigger are not on good terms today. So I don't think I'm going to get this done in time for the discussion, which is fine. I'm a mood reader. There'll be other people to talk to this book about when the time comes. I just wanted to be a part of the discussion, but I'm a part of so many discussions right now that I gotta stop, you know, being greedy, trying to be a part of everything. Can't stretch myself super thin like that. That's not cool. So those are the books I picked up. Let's see if we got anything cute. Ooh, got a bookmark. Okay. Got some bookmarks. I love that for me. And then they always send you like these. I order my books from Thrift Books. No, they're not sponsoring me. I don't know. I know how people are like, no free promo, but y'all, I really like getting my books from Thrift Books. And I think you guys should know about these. Oh, I forgot. I forgot to tell you about the books I got from the Goodwill. Yes, the Goodwill books. Okay, so this is one of my Goodwill books that I found, The Inhabited Woman. I found this at Goodwill. I found it. I discovered it. It's mine now. Then the first book that I saw was this one, Sami. A New Spelling of My Name by Audre Lorde. And I've been obsessed with reading something by Audre Lorde ever since I saw she wrote a book called The Master's Tools Will Not Dismantle the Master's House. And I'm like, girl, you are so right. It just ain't gonna happen. So I saw this at the thrift store and decided to pick this one up. And then I saw this on the come up, which is, I think it's YA literature. And I don't know, I just bought it because it's $2 for hardbacks and $1 for paperbacks at Goodwill. And I recognize this author of the book The Hate You Give, which is supposed to be a good book. So I picked this one up too. So that was fun to go by the thrift store, but this one right here was the big win. I just saw this on the shelf, never heard of this author, never heard of this book. It just looked like a good book. I judged it by its cover. I should put this on my Judge by Your Cover library challenge because actually, I don't know, did I? I did read the little blurb, the little synopsis on the back, so that like sealed the deal. Okay, I didn't judge this by its cover. I picked it up. I really want to have judged this book by its cover. What does that mean? You know, because like you look at the cover. I judge tons of books by their covers. I'd be looking at books like, I don't want to read that shit. That looks boring. Based on the cover. Or like the cartoon covers. I'm like, oh, that's a romance. Get that away from me. I don't know. Yeah, this is good. This is a good book. I'm really, really enjoying this. I'm enjoying that it's annotated before I got to it. So me and whoever read this book before, I don't think they finished the book as a matter of fact, because the annotations stop. Matter of fact, the last one, oh no, there's another one. Yeah, the highlighting. Oh no, okay. They might have made it through the whole book. Let's see highlighting. It kind of stops on page 250, it looks like. Oh, no. No, they got through this whole book, it looks like. Just had to switch annotating materials. But, so I'm supposed to go to a wine tasting tonight at a Spanish wine bar. But there is also a very severe weather watch for a thunderstorm / tornado in my area. So I'm trying to call the restaurant to see if they have rain checks for this event, if I can just somehow save my funding and put it towards a dinner there or something. But they're not answering the phone right now because they don't open until like 2 or 3, which is kind of too late because I need to start traveling because I'm taking the metro, which is extra hours on the commute, and all this drama. And I have to go to the grocery store and the library before I get a chance. And I have this book on hold at the library for myself. So I have to tell them I don't need it anymore. And I have to return my copy of Native Son. I just have so much stuff I got to do today. So let's see if I get any of it done. The Inhabited Woman. This is about 2 women, several women, all the women on earth, you know? But specifically, we have 2 women. We have a woman who died a long time ago, whose soul comes back and inhabits an orange tree in a garden. And then we have Lavinia, who is alive currently and living in the home that surrounds this garden with this orange tree. And we see the 2 women who have come together to reveal truths about themselves to each other. That sounds real cute, don't it? No, she's like awakening to what it means to be alive, really. I don't know. I think I'm having a hard time with the book because of the internalized misogyny that Lavinia displays. Lavinia says things like, I'm just a woman. I'm emotional because I'm a woman. What does she say? She says all types of stuff. She blames everything on her being a woman. She's not capable of this or that because she's a woman. She uses it as an excuse. She kind of like, and then the woman from the past, the woman whose soul is in the orange tree, she talks about patriarchy and misogyny in her tribe. And I'm like, that's interesting. Did that exist in this tribe, these tribes that populated South America before the Spaniards arrived, that are talked about in this novel? And I don't know. I don't know for sure, but I'm suspicious that gender was not codified the same exact way Europeans did so. So, factual inaccuracies in the text trouble me a little bit. But if we put that to the side and we just kind of go into this text with the knowledge that a lot of people assume gender roles from European perspectives and layer it on top of their understanding of other cultures, regardless of whether or not that was true for that culture, which is the influence of this one right here. This one specifically features Yoruba culture, but it questions worldview in that way. In that way, has gender been assumed to be this biological construct across cultures universally, because the Western point of view tends to be applied universally, scholarly? Or is this true, that the gender was codified this way in this other ancient culture halfway across the globe? So I'm having a good time, having my mind be blown. I've decided I'm not going to this wine event tonight because I'm not about to get caught out here in no thunderstorm over $70. Like, it sucks to be missing it, but it's already spent. And unless these people are going to do the right thing and let me use my money towards something else, it's just gonna have to be some wasted money. And that is that. So in other news, I have ordered my groceries and I have ordered my books last night to get started on my next book club read, because I got to get these books knocked out before the week before the meeting so I can figure out what the wine pairing is going to be. And yeah, let's see what happens today. Looking forward. I ordered a slice of buffalo chicken pizza, so I plan on having that for lunch. But yeah, that's it for this update. Maybe I'll have the rest of my books next time I talk to you guys. And do you want me to finish this? I'm not going to force myself to finish this for the sake of this vlog. I'm going to vlog for the week, and maybe you guys will just have to deal with the fact that I can't finish a book like this in a week. It's just too good. I've got to really go through it and absorb what's going on in here and in there, that other one. And I'm in a book club that's reading the Bible critically. I'm having a really good time with that. I think I'm in too many book clubs. I might have mentioned that already, but yeah, it's all right. My goal is to just read more books this year and to discuss them with people and have fun. So I'm just trying to live, you know what I'm saying? And for some people, going out to the club and drinking and partying is living. And for me, learning new ideas and discussing them with others and then blowing my mind on a regular basis is living. So to each his or her own, somebody's got to be the thinkers. Oh my gosh. And I was just thinking, like, all of our thinkers are like, don't have time to think, and they're criticized for thinking. It's like, oh, you think too much is a regular criticism of people these days. And it's like, don't think about it so much. Don't think too hard is like regularly advised to others. And it makes me crazy because, like, no, the problem is not enough people are thinking hard. Not enough people are taking a while to think about things. Where are the philosophers? Like, one of my friends I was talking to a few years ago about this, and he was like, these philosophers would spend their lives thinking these ideas and writing their books after years and years and years of careful consideration. And now you have people, throwing a video up the second the idea pops in their head. And deep thinking is no longer a thing. What if our philosophers are locked up, and they're not realizing that they're our saviors because they're socially relegated to such a low role in society, being prisoners, and they can't break out of this learned helplessness that's telling them they're not useful and they're not a contributing member of society, when they're in the perfect position to just sit there and think all day and read books and write dissertations. And why aren't prisons universities? Yeah, you can get a university degree in a prison, but it's not your work to learn in a prison. School felt like prison to some. Maybe that's like a really steep analogy there, but you know, being forced to go, not having a choice in what you read or learned. Like, some people felt, you know, victimized by school. And now you're in a position to be victimized. And this thing used to victimize children is not considered for adults. But I don't know. I shouldn't be calling it victimization if I'm like advocating for it. So do what you will with that little spiel, and I'm out. So I decided to get some change of scenery. I decided on a change of scenery and to get out of my room for a little while. I'm having corned beef and cabbage, carrots and potatoes, because it's that time of year. And some books just came in, yay. It was raining, so my package got wet. I really hope my book got wet. Or whatever. Remarkably Bright Creatures. My next book club read. Okay. Wow, didn't realize all that was going on. Got some sprayed edges here. They're not that cute in my opinion. Coulda left that out. Don't really want all that dye on my fingers personally. How many pages we got here? Ooh, I might have done my book club dirty, y'all. I might have went over my page limit. I didn't even check the pages on this. Oh, it's not that bad. 355. Okay. We are in business. 355. I'm so excited for this. I really love this book club, man. Just like the ability to bring people together over our shared interest in books and really get all these different perspectives and point of views. Like, I learned about people's careers and their high school years just from all reading a book together. We were all revealing things about ourselves, and it was so cool. And yeah, I'm expecting another 2 books today at some point, so I will share those with you as well. I'm gonna finish my corned beef and cabbage, and I'm going to keep reading The Inhabited Woman. I'm about halfway through now, so I don't know, part of me wants to stop reading deeply and just take the story in. Not that I'm pulling myself out of the story by annotating. I mean, I have the interruptions of text messages and Slack messages and all the other stuff going on, and I don't know, I think maybe the second time I read this book, because I'm definitely reading this book again, I'll just read it through. Or this first time, you know, I got to make the most out of it, because who knows if I'll ever get to that second time. Okay, talk to y'all later. Thanks for coming to my reading vlog. I hope you enjoyed. I promise next time I won't lay in bed so much. And yeah, see you next week.